Okay, so this isn't a video I ever thought I would make. Also, please can we just appreciate that I didn't upload for 2 weeks and now we're 3 days in a row? What is that about? And I'm busy as hell, so this is a push, but this video is important today. So yesterday, it was the second part of Shane Dawson's series on the mind of Jake Paul. In that episode, Shane went to therapist slash YouTuber Catty Morton to discuss what sociopathic is. That's not a word, is it? What it is to be a sociopath. And they looked at like the diagnostic criteria and all that stuff from DSM-5, which is something that the autistic spectrum disorder is also in that book. And it brought something to my attention. Something I had been aware of before because when I was looking for my autism diagnosis, I must admit sociopathness was what I came across when searching the whole empathy side of things, but we'll get into that. It's a fear of mine, but that fear was broadcast to millions of people, and the fact that there would be a lot of autistic people watching them, I just want to put out this video as a comfort for people on the spectrum who may be thinking now like, what, am I a sociopath? But also so people don't see someone who's autistic who looks like they don't have much empathy and all that stuff and accuse them of being sociopaths, because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking like, oh my god, are people gonna think I'm a sociopath? Which was showing empathy. Well done, me. I don't do that a lot, so I'm getting better at it, aren't I? The biggest thing that was discussed which made me feel uncomfortable was empathy. It said that sociopaths don't feel any empathy, and from an outside point of view, looking at someone on the autistic spectrum, it would appear that we don't have empathy. When I was diagnosed, I had to do an empathy test, and I scored 5 out of 80. If you're anything under 30, you're considered possibly on the autistic spectrum. So the fact that I scored that low, I do have quite a low empathy. Note how I got 5 out of 80. There's something there, whereas sociopaths just don't have any. I know I definitely have empathy. Like this morning I was seeing animal cruelty videos on Facebook and Twitter, and I was like mortified. I know I'm empathetic. For me, it's something that I've learned. I built up coping mechanisms to be able to help me with empathy, which makes it even more confusing because that's what sociopaths do. Sociopaths build up their own techniques because they know how people react to certain situations. That's what I do in terms of masking, which doesn't help that they kept using the word mask in the Shane Dawson thing. I build up masking as a coping mechanism as opposed to a tool as such. Like mine's to be able to cope with life. Sociopaths build it up to be able to get where they want in life. I think that makes sense. People on the autistic spectrum can be extremely empathetic though. It can go 2 ways, and like in a way I think my intelligence, because I've got quite a high IQ, I think that makes up for my low EQ, but the difference is I've done that to be able to just understand the world a bit better, as opposed to as a manipulation tool. That's like, let's go on to that one. That is one that just stands out altogether. It would be hard to find an autistic person that wants to manipulate people. Like, I can't. I don't know, I don't understand people's brains. But that's what sociopaths do all the time. They want to manipulate everyone into doing what they do. And if you do find an autistic person manipulating, like, it's so, like, they wouldn't succeed. Like, I'm being very general here, but that's the kind of thing that sets them apart. I've actually just googled quickly and found a little chart comparing autism and sociopaths, so it's good that's not just me who's thinking these things. It mentions here that sociopaths are dishonest, whereas most of the time people on the autistic spectrum are complete opposites to that. I'm often told I'm too honest. Or what? Why hide your opinion? You know, if someone's got a haircut that isn't good, why build up their confidence? It doesn't look good. Another one it's got here, generally how an autistic person could be perceived versus a sociopath. Sociopaths are normally charming and popular. Autistic people, as a whole, quite introverted. Yes, can be quite eccentric, but it's when we're comfortable being eccentric. And like, you do get popular autistic people. Like, I wasn't unpopular at school, but I wasn't popular. That charming and popularness can also be linked to sociopaths being self-centered, and autistic people can seem self-centered, and that's not, like, yes, fair enough, obviously some cases could be self-centered, but it's more to do with the fact of we're not picking up on the cues to go, we need to support this person, like, we need to do something to interact with this person. It's more just we're in our own worlds, and like, we need a bit of prodding to go, look, you need to focus on all the things around you. So it's more like us having tunnel vision. One thing that was also brought up in the documentary series yesterday was the fact that sociopaths don't really have a sense of danger. That's something that's quite common on the autistic spectrum. So I don't know. My guess is that sociopaths don't have a sense of danger because they have no empathy, which I think is something that they said. I think it comes down to that again with the autistic people, the fact that we don't often have the prompts and we're not able to pick up on the prompts to be able to realise that a situation's dangerous. Do you know what the funny thing is? There's often a lot of misdiagnosis between the two just because of that whole empathy element of it, but overall it actually says this on the chart. Sociopaths are impaired emotionally, whereas alternatively, people on the autistic spectrum, we're impaired cognitively. So we're impaired as to how our brain works as a whole, and because we're impaired by how our brain works as a whole, that can affect the emotional bit of our brain, as opposed to just the emotional bit of the brain being affected. Yeah, as a whole, us on the autistic spectrum, we're creatures of habit. We do repetitive things. Yes, we are kind of like chameleons at times, but that's a form of coping. It's not at all of manipulation and all that stuff. It's just to be able to get by. I will do a whole video on masking. I've been meaning to do that for a while. But I felt this video was just important to make today. So I'm autistic and I'm not a sociopath, even though I was last night questioning everything in my life. I'm questioning everyone in my life, to be fair. If you're a sociopath and like we're friends, please just alert me to it, because again, I'm not really good at picking up on cues. I will just repeat this once more. If you're on the autistic spectrum and you feel kind of a bit, I don't even know what the word is. See, this is one of the things I have trouble with, identifying what emotion I'm feeling. I do feel emotions, I just get confused about what they are. If you're just a bit confused about your identity, and if you're scared of people accusing you of this term just because it's now popular, this is the thing, like Shane Dawson has such a big platform that the entire world, like all our generation, our mindsets can be changed by Shane Dawson making a video. So sociopath will be something on the top of loads of people's minds. So just please don't be scared. Like, people may accuse you of it, but use that as a point of education. Just explain, no, actually I'm on the autistic spectrum, these are the differences. My brain hurt a lot after that episode yesterday because it was very emotionally intense. It drained me. And I'm kind of feeling that after filming this video, even though I've only been filming for 12 minutes. The series as a whole, I'm really looking forward to it, and it's going to be emotionally intense, but it'll be fine. I think that's probably one of the most clickbaity titles I've done in a while as well, especially if I'm going to get Jake Paul in the thumbnail and Shane Dawson and that lot. I don't actually know what I'm going to do for this thumbnail. I've got no idea what pose. See, that low empathy thing's probably why I'm so rubbish at thumbnails. I don't know what to do to make people react. I think I need to do sad with this one, or maybe I do a creepy face. I don't know. So in the comments down below, please comfort each other. If you were feeling worried about the Shane Dawson episode, say, this is a safe space. Maybe you were someone who's found this video who was a bit confused by the differences. So hopefully I've managed to help briefly. There are many other elements as well which you could compare between autistic people and sociopaths, so maybe there's more of them that we could discuss in the comments. I've been Connor Ward. You can find my social medias down here. You can subscribe up here, have a look at my website, all fancy stuff coming soon. Here's a recommended video for you, and just in case you missed the last one, there it is. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.